to go different, something to get your attention right back here. Factz Ova Feelingz. We done slid up in the joint. Big shout out to my man, the microphone god, Rakim. If y'all don't know nothing about the original Eric B. and Rakim, then you just don't know hip hop. I ain't got time for that. Tonight, we gonna dive right in because, first of all, made possible by who? The Most High. Of course, I ain't got to talk about that because all my symbology throws y'all all off because you have learned some truths. You can't understand how I can say that and still wear this and still be this, and you don't know how all that ties together. I don't have time to take you back. Go watch some of our older shows. Tonight, we got to deal with something up in here, people, and I'm going to let you know right now. Y'all know how we do on Factz Ova Feelingz. Tonight, you really can't bring your feelings to this one. No, tonight we got to do some external dealing with, and we got to do some internal dealing with. We got to deal with some things on the outside, but we also got to deal with some stuff on the inside. And I hope that we are strong enough and mature enough to get through this without it being a whole lot of, I can't believe he did this, and we're not trying to have that tonight. For the few of y'all that's hanging out with me tonight, I know a lot of y'all, got better things to do than to listen because most of y'all been listening to gossip and mess all day. So your ears is all confused. You're not really solid in your faith. You can be moved by anything. You're supposed to be rock solid, but no, a lot of y'all, some come along and y'all way over there now. I don't know anymore. Come on now. We don't have a spirit of fear. We don't do that. Anyway, because the enemy would not be attacking you if you were not going against the grain. You see, when you're doing something that you ain't got no business, then you don't never have no trouble. But the moment you try to do right and you try to walk in righteousness and you're trying to find your way back to salvation, as soon as that happens, your address is the only address that they got. Every time you turn around, here comes some drama. Let me tell y'all something. If I could sit down and list every week is something new. Ever since we went down to the Ahmaud Arbery situation, it's been one thing after another. I don't know who sits down and dreams up this stuff, but it's like you are never going to get to even enjoy the success of what you may have done for your people, because every day there'll be somebody who'll be putting a thorn in your side. That's their way of letting you know that you're doing something that's going against the way they want things to go. You're doing something right. So they aggravating you, and it's just every day. I learn now never to get happy, because every time I get happy, by the next day, I'll be pissed off about something else. It's been so many things. I'm not even going to go through that. What I do want to talk about, though, is first, let me give y'all a service announcement. I found out, and this might help some of y'all. It's a shame we figured this out in the end, but we found out that the good folks at Instagram have the ability to go into your application and turn off notifications that you didn't turn off. So go look in your notifications, and you might find out that the reason you don't get notifications from this this live stream is because your notifications have been turned off by Instagram. They just thought they'd help you out. You know what I mean? Y'all don't know how easy that is. That's a matter of writing a little bit of code. I had 3 people hit me up today talking about, yo, man, I happened to be looking around in my settings and it said that we was off. And I didn't turn you off. That's what they said. I don't know who turned you off. I didn't turn you off. That's what they said. Check your settings. You might find out you've been turned off. Didn't know that. The other thing is that we got to talk about, okay, now, this is where it's going to get kind of painful. Grown folks. This is grown folk business, what I'm about to say right here. 'Cause so if you young in the mind, or if you really don't understand how you deal with your family, if you don't understand children, if you don't, that's alien to you, then, you might want to fall back. It's going to get a little strange, but excuse me. I was always taught that you can always tell what type of home training a person has by what they do in the street. Whatever a person does in the street, they learned at home. There are very few things that you learn in the street that you can take home. No, you can take some things home and you can join them onto things you learned at home. But you normally are a reflection of home. When you see little white kids in the street calling people the N-word and and running around in little Klan robes. And, you know, for Halloween, they want to dress up with the KKK and all of that. They learned that at home. They didn't learn that in no school. They didn't learn it on the playground. They didn't learn it from little Johnny down by the train tracks. They learned that at home. Okay? So when you see certain things in the street, you have to remember that the fruit don't roll far from the tree, and it has already been taught to you that a bad tree does not produce good fruit. We are always, in today's society, so quick to run to the aid of someone before we understand the full scope of who we're running to the aid of. Then we do this thing where we get quiet because we know we done ran to the wrong person's aid. Y'all remember the story? The girl claimed that a black man stole her car with her children in it and left her on the side of the road in South Carolina. And they stopped every black man that was walking in South Carolina, North Carolina too. Just stopping anybody. They ain't give a damn. Who was crazy enough to steal a car with 2 white kids in it? And everybody was looking in everywhere. And people was looking at everybody sideways. And they was on TV crying, oh, please bring our kids back. And everybody was brothers just couldn't go nowhere. And then, after all of these people had come out, you know, on behalf of this woman, and everyone had said that they were praying for the children's safe return, and they were praying with the mother, and, you know, and everybody making all these entertainers came out. This is a tragedy. We stand with the mother. And then the truth came out. Mom put the kids and the car in the water. Drove the kids in the water. Killed her children. I know this is hard for y'all to hear, but this is the truth. Don't get mad at me. I'm just telling you what happened. But so she could be with another dude. Well, as you can all imagine, there wasn't this great outcry of people talking about, I can't believe she lied. It was, everybody got quiet. Everybody got quiet. Same thing with the situation in Chicago. I'm not going to call his name. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Oh, everybody got amped. Oh, it's terrible what they did to them. The noose and the bleach and all. And then the truth came out. Everybody got quiet. Y'all see a pattern here? So I'm saying all of that to you so that when I say what I'm about to say, some of you all will see that sometimes you want to slow down and get the whole story. Matter of fact, someone asked me if tonight I would teach on the proper methods of how you research something so that you don't come to the wrong conclusion and you don't have to eat your words and you don't have to sometimes be the bigger man and apologize like I've shown you someone who is big enough to apologize. Don't go that route. Don't be that person if you can help it. So they asked me, could you please teach tonight on the proper way to do your research so that you can get both sides of the story. So it pays. So you know when someone's not playing you like a harp, throwing you for a loop like a yo-yo and walking the dog on you. So there's a story that I know everybody's hot about. I know y'all steamed about it. I was steamed when I read it too. My phone rang. People started sending me videos. Jay, we can't let this ride. I took a look at it, and all I saw was the fact that these police officers had opened fire on a car with children in it. Children! So I'm going like, well, hold on a minute. The children was age 9 all the way up to 15. No, I'm sorry, 16. So I'm going, so why was the cop shooting at the children in the car? In my mind, I'm thinking the car is parked. You know, mom is in the store. The kids is in the car. Did the cop walk up and start shooting? I don't know. I didn't get the context. Notice I don't have all the facts yet. So I'm going, well, they shouldn't be shooting at the kids. And of course, you know, for the sake of race, they had to throw that in. They were black kids. Okay, so I'm going to somebody shooting at the black kids in the car, and these are children. All right, so that was all I knew. So I go in, you know, I'm all on fire. Who did it? I want the names. You know how the routine go, y'all. So we go in, and once again, it's in Georgia. Yep, you got it. My favorite place. We're in Georgia so much they think we from there. No, that's just a racial hotspot. This is down in Waycross, Georgia. And if you haven't heard the latest about this, state authorities are investigating. They say they're investigating after Georgia police officers fired his gun at a vehicle with 3 teenagers and 2 younger children inside during an attempted traffic stop. Okay? Now think about it. Now that changes the whole context for me. Okay, so they were driving. So I'm going, in my mind, I'm going, okay, they driving, young, 16, you know, behind the wheel. Okay, got the kids in the car. I got it. Okay, what happened? The 2 police officers involved in the Saturday incident described the confrontation where the 16-year-old behind the wheel drove towards one of the officers who opened fire. And the 15-year-old tried to grab one of their guns. Now, I'm thinking to myself, now, hold on a minute. The ages and the story don't go together for me. Because I'm going, wait a minute, hold on, 15, 16. He driving the car at this dude. So then he got the fire, and my man grabbed his gun. How did he grab his gun? What did he do? Dive out the car and grab the gun? Okay, hold up. I need a little more information. But Dominique Goodman Sr., who's the father of all 5 of the children, tells a different story. He says that multiple shots were fired at his 3 youngest children between the ages of 9 and 14 before he had to plead with the officers not to shoot his older son. Okay, so now I'm like, okay, so if the pops was there, where did this happen at? I need more information because something ain't adding up here. And so the family says that this whole thing started as the Goodman Boyd children returned from Walmart in Waycross, Georgia. And now Amari Goodman, who's 12, says that she noticed that the police car was following them without the lights on. And it was only when the children got to their neighborhood that he turned the lights on. And police say they followed the car so they could get the license information after they saw a traffic violation. All right, so let me make sure I got it right. No, hold on, let me do this last part before I do the summation. Once in their neighborhood, the 2 oldest children told the 3 younger ones to get out of the car and go find their father at home just up the street. Okay, so they told them to get out and go get Pops because they was getting pulled over. Okay, all right, okay. Now, I'm not going to dig into the details of the story any further than that because of the fact that before we can go any further in this story, black people, we have to look at a few things that are going to come back to us later. Okay? Okay. So according to the police, this is what the police said. Remember, this is what the police said. It was after the 3 young children got out of the car that the police say the vehicle kept driving toward one of the officers, with the 15-year-old and the 16-year-old was still inside. So the officer fired multiple shots at the car. And the teenagers jumped out with the car still in drive. So so now they straight out the movies. They done dived out the car while the car's still in drive. Dived out while the cop is shooting at the car. So like, okay, like the movies, they done dived out the car's still rolling. Okay, got it. It says the teens were taken into custody at the scene, and the family says at the time they didn't know if they were being charged with any crime. Well, the police tell a different story. Police says there was an altercation during the arrest between the officer and the 15-year-old boy who was treated for minor injuries. In pictures taken at the scene, you've seen them, they show the 15-year-old with blood dripping down his face, and he's handcuffed by the squad car. We all saw that. Now, just like the Ahmaud Arbery case, here comes my favorite friends, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, which we call the GBI. They came down and said that nobody was injured during the gunfight or the gunshots. They said they shot at a car full of unarmed minors, a car full of unarmed children. Okay? Now, here's the problem that we got. I'm going to end with this right here. Y'all listen up real close. Stay with me. Police say that the 16-year-old is charged with reckless driving, aggravated assault on a police officer, driving without a license, possession of a handgun by a minor, and a stop sign violation. The 15-year-old is charged with felony obstruction of an officer, removal or an attempt to remove a firearm from an officer, and possession of a handgun by a minor. Okay, let us get started. So, now that I got the whole story put together, I have to ask a question. This is going to be painful, but I got to do it. So, let me make sure I got this right. Y'all stay with me. If you have children, you understand what I'm about to say. If you are one of those children who's never had a real father figure in the house to ask these questions, these are the questions that I would have to ask if you were in my house. Okay. First, I got a child who is 16 years old, who doesn't have a driver's license, doesn't own a car, takes my car and goes to the Walmart. Okay, whose responsibility is it if the child runs over someone or has an accident, kills someone, or kills himself? It is the parent's responsibility. If that same child that is now driving the car with no license, no insurance, now has a gun on him, who is responsible for the child if he shoots somebody? Him, the child, and the parent. Now, if the same child who has the car with no license and no insurance, who is driving the car, has a gun on him, also has his little brother riding shotgun, and he's strapped too, who is responsible? The parent. But hold up, if that child who's driving the car with no license and no insurance, with a gun on him, got his little brother riding shotgun with a gun on him too, also got his little brothers and sisters thrown in the back because they just riding along because they don't know no better, and they all go to the Walmart with no driver's license, no insurance. This is a child. Where you think he got the keys from? Who you think told him to go to the store? That's what he said. He said he knew they went to the store. You said you knew? You sent all your children to the store in a 8,000 pound weapon, and they go to the store. Okay, obviously this ain't the first time they've done this. Okay, like my mother used to say, you keep on trying to get away with something, eventually something will go wrong or you will get caught. Ain't nothing changed. So stay with me. I know a lot of y'all like, I don't believe he's. No, this is what we got to do in the black community. Yes, I'm not letting the cops off the hook. I ain't got to the cops yet. But this is the kind of stuff that's going on in our community. And we're talking about making our community better. We're talking about looking out for each other. Now, hold on. Now, they done went to the store. They've done this before. They on their way back to the house, but on this particular day, my man made a right when he shouldn't have made a right, ran a stop sign. Ain't nothing big. Cop saw it. Cop go to pull him over for a ticket. Gets behind them, runs the license plate. Okay, thinking that he's pulling over the owner of this car. Owner of the car is the father. He's at home. Okay. Well, he can obviously see that this is, I don't know who all these people is in the car. The car stops. People jump out, take off running. Same time that's going on, the car's still going toward the cops. So the cops open fire. Two brothers jump out. The first one they get to is the 15-year-old. He tried to grab the cop's gun. They gangster with it. He got beat down. They got him. They grabbed the other brother. He get the same treatment. The kids got away because they can't believe this shit. What's happening? The kids run home and tell their dad what happened. The dad comes back down there. Don't kill my son. Oh, this is terrible. I can't believe y'all shot at these kids. Oh, now, yes, the police need to explain why they thought it was cool to open fire on what you could obviously see these were children. See, that's where y'all fucked up. Because opening fire on the kids, come on, how broad daylight, Broad daylight. You couldn't tell those wasn't midgets running away. Those are children. But then you got these two black males. And they got guns. Okay, come on. Is anybody missing the whole part of the whole damn story? Yeah, the cops was wrong for shooting at the kids, whatever that case may be. But how did we get here? Why do we have children, 16 and 15 years old, strapped, rolling deep in the Lolo, going to the store? Yeah, the cops somebody need to do something with the cops. But Pop, come on, bruh. That's some real shit for you right there. I'm sorry, I know it's hard to hear. But we got to stop ignoring shit like that when shit like this happens. You ain't got no license. You ain't got no learners. Take my car and go to the store. Take your brothers and sisters with you. Now, it'd be a real sad day if something else had happened to those children. They wouldn't have known what the hell they had. They would have been looking through the car like, well, we got all these damn kids in the car, guns and shit in the car. What was going on here? That's what I'm talking about. We got some internal house cleaning to do. Y'all know that man over there with all them kids, and when no sister decided to go over and try to help? For real, everybody just minding their own business. The kids out of control. My man doing the best he can. Probably working 2-3 jobs. All them damn kids. Now, I understand the frustration. I understand the pressure. But come on now, we got to do better as a community. Now, we mad at the cops because this wild, wild west broke out in the middle of the damn street. They children. But it starts at home. I know this is tough teaching, but I got to tell it to you because it's a terrible story. Suppose he had killed all those children. This could have went so many ways, but instead, everybody got out of it in one piece. So what's the lesson learned? I'm sorry. What was the thing back in the day? I don't know. I'm getting old now, but it was something. What was the kids? The kids who was all over the place. I don't know their name. Y'all help me out. Type it in there. I don't know. Somebody's kids. It was somebody's kids. You can't have that going on out here. These police will kill you. If this was back in the day and something like that happened and the car rolled at them, they wouldn't have shot the car up like that. But now that's normal. They will shoot the car up for rolling at them. The car can be 3 blocks or the car's coming this way. We shot the car up. That's death by cop. We know that. You remember the movie Set It Off? Queen Latifah, what did she do? When it was over, she put it in drive. Death by cop. She went out like a soldier. Somebody said Bebe's kids. Bebe's kids, no, this is not Bebe's kids. Don't y'all, see, this is why I don't read y'all, because y'all be saying everybody's typing Bebe kids now. Is that who I'm talking about? Pocahontas 305 in the MIA. Is it Bebe's kids? Is that what we had? We had a Bebe's kid episode that could have been tragic. But instead it was just kids all over the goddamn place. The cops don't know what's happening. The kids strapped. This starts at home. Now, I appreciate the fact that, your kids got to grow up. They got to do what they got to do. But come on, y'all. When I was coming up, we never could have got away with no shit like that. We wouldn't even have dreamed. And our dad was at home? Oh, hell no. Come on, where my OGs at? Talk to me. That would have been a suicide move. Don't sit here and try to act like I'm the only one that happened to. Y'all know that if your pops was in the house and you had to come home on some BS like that, you'd rather stay in jail than for them to call your mother or your father to come down there to get you because you got caught stealing a candy bar out the Safeway grocery store after school. You don't want to be that person. You'd rather keep your ass in the house. All right, now that I've talked that out, so y'all understand it's a terrible story. The police need to be held accountable, but we also got to look at the community itself. We shouldn't have children out with no license, no insurance, with all their brothers and sisters in the car. And who these two dudes thought they was? 15, 16, they strapped. Really? How did that work out for you? You see, that's not what we're trying to tell you to arm yourselves. This ain't for you to go out like you in the movies. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about you being able to have an intelligent conversation, exercise your constitutional rights, and then if they decide to violate your rights, then you strapped. But bruh, come on, 15, 16? I don't know, is that legal in some states for them to get their CCP? No, it's not. Okay, so it's not like you can carry conceal at 15. So come on, bruh. And to the sisters out there, that I know y'all trying to raise a lot of these young men on your own, like Pac said, but ask a brother for help. There's a whole lot of us as father figures that'll be happy to step in and be a mentor, be a role model to your kid. Everybody, but some of y'all make it so hard. I'm gonna go ahead and talk. Can I talk for a minute, bro? Sister, sometimes y'all make it so hard for somebody to try to to get that blueprint, because you still want to baby them. You still want them to be your little main man. You don't want to step back and let a brother come in and give them the imprint. Then when they do something crazy or they do something silly, and you be sitting there like, well, I don't know where he got that from. It's not where he got it from. It's where he never got it in the first place. So that's the problem. They're incomplete. You got to let a brother step in and just look. I can change the diaper. I can prepare the formula. I can go pick out the little color-coded clothes. I can get the little bulb that they go up the nose with, and I got the diaper bag going, and I got the stroll. I got all that happening. I'm a pro. But I can't raise a young lady. At a certain point, I have to go get a sister. I'm going to need you to come over here and take over. Take it from there. Okay? It's the same thing with young men. Yes, he's your baby. You can get him to a certain point. But at a certain stage, you got to slide left and let a real man step in and give him the structure and the discipline that he will need. And then everything else grows on that. You understand what I'm saying? And that person is someone that's in your immediate circle. There ain't nobody weird that you done went and hired off of Craigslist and no shit like that. We're talking about someone that's within the relationship, within the orbit, that exemplifies some of the qualities we've talked about here. Now, I'm sorry, I don't know what happened with, y'all call them babies, kids, or whatever you call them. I don't know, but I know one thing, that could have went a whole lot of different ways. But what nobody wants to talk about is the fact that they shouldn't have been out there to start with. It shouldn't have been out there to start with, because anything could have happened. It could have gone horribly wrong. I want to switch gears right now and talk a little bit about All Eyes on Bree. The clock is still ticking. Y'all know that we just been over here chilling while we've been dealing with the moistness that's been all around us. But in the meantime and in between time, I wanted to talk a little bit about the criminal charges, because they're getting real close now, and it looks like everybody is trying to get themselves in position for whatever's going to happen here. But beyond the possible crime of lying on the no-knock affidavit, there appears to be a clear homicide charge that can be pursued in this case. Now, you have to understand what the law says. It states that a person is guilty of murder, and this is Kentucky statute 507.0201B, and it states, B, including but not limited to the operation of a motor vehicle under circumstances manifesting extreme indifference to human life, or he wantonly engages in conduct which creates a grave risk of death to another person and thereby causes the death of another person. This is known as wanton murder, and it is similar to the common law concept of depraved heart murder. There's a commentary to 507.021 giving the following examples of conduct that constitutes wanton murder. So, that's what the law says in the state of Kentucky. That is why we need to understand that what they're looking at right now is not the fact that, yes, you have a right to defend yourself because you had a warrant. We understand that you were shot at, you had a right to shoot back. But when you just blast all out, when you just recklessly shot everything in every direction, when you just let go, all y'all just let go, what we need to know is one thing and one thing only. And thank you to the FBI for giving the piece of information that nobody seemed to want to come up with. The ballistics report. Where did the bullets come from? Which bullets killed Breonna, and where did they come from? Because wherever they came from, that is the person that we would like to have a talk with. The person that actually fired the shots. Is like, y'all know, if you in the hood, y'all know the trigger man is always the one that everybody want to throw the book at. Okay, which one of y'all pulled the trigger? Now, we don't care about all that. You was in the car? Who pulled the trigger? Oh, you were just riding with him. Who pulled the trigger? You see what I'm saying? The trigger man is always going to get it. Always. So they looking for the trigger man, which is okay, because we want to know who the trigger man was too, because the bullets ain't going to lie. Now, once they figure out who trigger man is, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you what the law says. Once they find out who the trigger man is, that's who they're going to work on. The other two brothers are protected under the warrant. So they had a right to defend themselves. If, watch this, if neither one of their bullets hit Brianna. If they shot the wall, the sink, the floor, the ceiling, all kind of random, they just everywhere. But they didn't hit her. None of their bullets touched her. If the 8 bullets came from this bro right here, y'all can go ahead, get over it now. They gonna walk. But this bro right here, and I'm going to tell you tonight how you know. This is all public information. I ain't telling you nothing. This ain't no deep, dark secret. I'm telling you exactly what they looking at. This is what they thinking about. And you should be thinking about this too. Go and get in on the game real quick. Let me tell you, this is what they looking at right now. They already know that them boys is protected by the search warrant. See, when you going into somebody's crib, you are, as a cop, you are exempt. You still have a right to self-defense, but also you got the right to start some shit, which everybody else don't have. So you can always claim self-defense. So, I mean, that's not the issue. Here go where the issue come in. The issue comes in when you look at my man over here that got fired. If you go back and look at the document that he got fired on, it states specifically that the reason that they were firing you was because your response, your behavior in that shooting was wanton and reckless. They put those two words in there on purpose. Now you got to be a good lawyer to go back and actually see what they're looking for. You see, you can't justify the charge unless you can prove that there was some reason. And the reason was, see, he thought he was getting over by them firing him. No, bro, that was a setup. You took the firing, and the moment you did that, they wrote out a document, and the document says that the reason we're letting you go is because of what you did to Breonna Taylor residence was wanton and reckless. Now they got a document saying they fired you for it. So guess what? Now, only thing that has to happen now is get the bullets, prove that they came from him, and if they do, they can turn around and they can charge him with manslaughter in the 2nd degree. Wanton manslaughter. 2nd degree. 20 years to life. Think about it. In some instances, death. Think about it. They're looking at such a way that they can get a charge out of this that'll stick. So now they got the memo where he fired him. Go look it up. It's online. You can see the memo. And read what the reason is that they fired him for. And you wonder why those 2 words was put there. Whoever wrote that, and they said it came from the mayor's office. The mayor is a player, y'all. Y'all see what I'm saying? The mayor is a player. The mayor's like, okay, all right, the whole thing don't fell apart, huh? No, I'll write the memo. There you go. I'm sorry this happened. And my man left. Now they trying to bring charges. Well, the only way that you can charge somebody, see, that's the only way you can defeat, and any lawyer that's watching knows this, because see, I talked to a few of the lawyers down there because I wanted to understand Kentucky law. Y'all don't realize how close we are. We didn't just go down there and it wasn't a show. We still listening. We still watching. We all in it. We want to know. We want to plan accordingly. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm letting y'all know this is what they looking at right now. And this is why they trying to find out who did the bussing, as Ice Cube would say. And because they trying to look at that, they got to figure out. Now, here's the trick to it right here. Now, y'all got to understand how this whole thing is coming together. He said he couldn't get it done. It would take 8 weeks because they had to go out and reconstruct the crime scene and get the bullets, the angles, right? But the FBI stepped in and said, no. We've already done that for our own investigation. How about we give those results to you to speed up your process? Oh, y'all will do that? We want to speed up the process, don't you? You looking at the clock on the wall, ain't you? Oh, okay. So they handing that over to them so they can see who did the killing. Once they figure out who did the killing, 22 shots, we only need to find out where 8 of them came from. And then we work backwards from there. And if it falls back on my man that got the piece of paper, they're going to be like, hey, bro, you got to take one for the team. Why? Because you wantonly and recklessly shot up in this girl's house. You can't do that. Even if you are a cop. See, that's how much we've studied the law in Kentucky. Now, y'all should get ready for that. It says clearly the officer's conduct falls into one of these categories. Shooting into an occupied building, just as clearly this isn't a classic case of shooting into an occupied building. Instead, the police could respond that they were lawfully executing a search warrant, meaning they're firing shots in response to a bullet fired at them by Kenneth. But at the end of the day, nobody is going to take that into account because they're going to be protected by the warrant. This is where I take my break here. I'll come back and join y'all in a few minutes. We're going to finish this up. It's Factz Ova Feelingz tonight. I know it's not what you expected, but we got to unpack some stuff as we move into probably one of the last ones before I begin to exit from Instagram at last. I know, I hope some of y'all follow me. Maybe some of y'all won't. I don't know. But in the meantime, I'll be back, right back here. Factz Ova Feelingz on a Sunday night. And when we come back, we have to deal with the tale of Iram and the roles of the record. I'll see y'all when I get back. Shalom.